Hello and welcome to Responsible Day Trading. My name is Lindsay Duff and today is Wednesday, July 24th. I've already traded today. I'm not going to put my normal video up like I usually do because it's not bad. It was so long. I was watching the ES for a little while today and I decided, well, I told people I was going to trade the MES, so I switched over to that for a little bit and thought, hey, maybe I can catch a little bit more action going on here. Because in my mind, I'm going, well, I'm going to smaller charts. But guys, with the charts that I'm using for the ES and the charts that I'm using for the MES, they look identical. There is nothing different in them. I see everything exactly the same. I ended up with 6.5 points on the MES. That sounds all fine and dandy, but really that 6.5 points on the MES is not very much. But it's not about the money. It's about doing the right thing and making the right decisions. Now, on the MES, I have allowed for a bigger risk and a bigger target, which means I allow myself to have a little bit more playroom, well, in theory. But because I'm so used to trading the ES, I was still taking my exits and moving my stops along with the 2-point mindset and instead of the 4-point mindset. I'm not going to go through all this. What I do want to talk about is, and we're going to look at the trades, but I want to talk about how the MES and the ES really just mirror each other so unbelievably. So let's go and look at that really quick. So here we are, and I'll just talk about my trades really quick, what happened. So when it pulls up into here, it gave me some really great entry opportunities. Now I'm using a 55 tick chart, so that means it moves very quickly. So getting in closer to the area is a little bit more difficult for me right now. It's just a little bit of finessing. So as it reached this first area, now if we look at this, I want you to look at where my stop and my target would have been. Okay, so right here is where I entered, right? If I'm using a 10 tick stop, my entry was right here at 3007. So we would go back to 8, 9, 50. So my stop would be right here, which is not a bad place for it to be. It is kind of in that middle space, but it does feel rather wide to me as well. My target would have been somewhere down in this area because I'm looking for more along the lines of a 4-point target, right? Instead of just the 2-point target. Now, when it pulls down into this area, it tells me, hey, guys, we're pushing back into that yellow EMA. I was also looking at my bigger tick charts, or I was looking at the tick chart that carries the yellow EMA and the blue EMA, the 987. So the 987 is what follows the 377. So whenever the 987 began to slow down and what was strong to the upside, and there were more signals than just that, there was weakness in MACDs here. There was weakness in the MACDs on the 987. There were divergences that were starting to show in places that said, hey, you might want to take an exit. And my mindset went, hey, I'm going to hold this till the cows come home because this should be pushing us down. This didn't reach my target. And so as that's pulling back, I'm hearing those type of thoughts going through my head saying, Lindsay, this is pushing up with some strength. We're at areas anticipated to hold because we have a market that has been trending to the upside. You need to exit this short trade. So instead of letting it come back all the way to my risk, I went ahead and took that exit. We did get the rollback, and finally we got a little bit of some super retracement divergence kicking right up in here. And when that happens, we get slowdowns and it starts to move up. So there's a lot going on here that really tells us that it's time to take the trade to the upside. Let's look at this. When you enter in here, and I entered twice, first stop was right at this low right here. The next one was right below it. Okay. As it pulled up in here, my very quick thought process is that, hey, we're getting out here because it is starting to pull back. it hasn't given us a lot of strength to the upside. So take the exit, and the reason for exiting this one is it was showing enough strength to say it's gonna come back and hit the stop, because by the time I took this exit, I had moved my risk to a break even. So that's not my main way of whenever I trade like this. So what I'm doing at that point is I'm moving this stuff along because I'm seeing these quick little moves and pullbacks and know the potential they have to continue pulling back with the areas being further back here. Really, our last big risk area was back here, and then this is the next one here. So had I kept my risk right behind this last pivot, I would have stayed in this trade a little bit longer. I don't know that I would have made it through all this because this is just so slow, and that's like another hour and a half. So first exit was 1.5. Next exit was a point because it was 2 ticks and 2 contracts. Then my entries right here, which don't look very, very nice, but the exit, the first one was 3.5 points, and the next one was 2 ticks. Now that sounds all fine and dandy with 3 trades and 6.5 points, but really that 3 trades with 6.5 points, that 2 trades with 3.5 points. Let's look at this. So when we take that to the currency, it's $32.50. So it's not much, right? But if you are working on becoming a profitable day trader, still making these right decisions based off what you understand and what you know is a wonderful idea. So let's think about this. Now, so it's $32.50 on the MES, but if you're looking at the ES with the same moves, the same thought process, that's $325. This is what makes the MES something really, really great to get started on, because whenever you're doing this, you're able to, you know, if I got out at 1.5 and half a point, 1.75, 1.75, a half a point, and I got 6.5 points on the ES, I probably wouldn't be beating myself up as much as I am a little bit about the 6.5 points on the MES. And that's just something that I need to let go, because, and I'll be going over that in my thought process this evening for sure. Let's go to what I really wanted to cover here, and that is how the MES and the ES really mirror one another, okay? So this might blow your mind just a little bit. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to go to File, Workspaces, and I'm going to open my other ES. I have 2 of them set up because I have one where just my 3 charts come up on this screen, and I have one where my 3 charts come up on the other screen. So if I ever want to travel and trade, I can use the other one. All right, let's do that again. Let's go back between those 2. So we can see what's happening here on the 1597, especially during that time that I was trading earlier. They were, oh, hold on. They were really, really mirrored one of another. So look how the MES is pulled down. We have these couple of pivots. It's pulled back up. Let's look at the ES. You can see how it's pulled down. It's had these couple of pivots. It's pulled back up. I mean, they are like twins. Okay, let's look at the 233 now, and then let's look at the 233 when we bring up the MES, okay? Right there. Look how these 2 really are just almost identical. There's a couple of different closes in different places, y'all. Look out how the 10946 and the chart that I have over there, which I can't remember off the top of my head right now, how they are going to resemble one another as well. The 2584. So whenever we are looking for different charts or different markets, we're going to look at the different chart sizes to make it fit what we need to do. We're going to look at where they pull into areas. And I did a little bit of work in my head with the Fibonacci's to really figure out how we space them out and make these EMAs line up the way that we want them to. So we want this EMA to line up with this one. And so we want the small EMA on our 144 to be the large EMA on our 55. And we can see what's happening there. We want the large EMA on the 144 to be the small EMA on the 377. And so on and so forth. We want the large EMA on the 377 to be the small on the 987, and the large on the 987 to be the small on the 2584. Since we don't have daily charts, well, we do have a daily chart, it's just really a tough one. So I chose to use, so this is the daily chart, okay? Daily chart is a little bit tougher because we don't have even a full couple, just got a couple of months worth, right? So instead of a daily chart, I chose to bring up the 10946. We have anywhere between like 4 and 6 bars in a day. So the 10946 is really what helped me to realize that even though this was pulling down, we were still looking for movements to the upside. And it's right in here where it was pulling down. We're still looking for movements to the upside. So the 10946 does a good representation of the overall, the bigger move. And we can look here and see what exactly is happening. We've got a W pivot, it's pushing up. We're going to get up towards this area, and decisions will be made at that time, okay? So without making a short video long, I just wanted to go through that, how the MES and the ES resemble each other so closely that you're able to really, you can interchange between the two. Pop-up that just happened. So this is our MES popping up. Let's just look really quick at the ES popping up. Okay. They run parallel to one another. So this is where I want you to really realize that if you're looking at beginning to trade, if you're looking at wanting to start simulating, whenever you've learned all the information that you need to learn about what you're looking for and why you're looking for it, when you're ready to start simulating, at that point, then you are going to want to move to something that's going to have a lot less risk on it, like the MES, okay? You only need $50 to start an account. It's $100 if you want to do 2 contracts. I would suggest maybe put a couple of hundred in there, maybe like 500 to give you a little bit of a cushion, because there are nerves. There are times, like even today when I was trading, I had to say, okay, Lindsay, just pay attention. Just pay attention, you know? So those nerves will come up. These things will happen. But if you pay attention and you know what to look for and why you're looking for it, then you're going to be able to make a lot of things happen that a lot of others aren't, because a lot of them don't know why they're looking for these trades. There's just certain triggers that they're doing, and it's because they've been told this is what they have to do. They've been told they have to trade like someone. So they've taken this mindset of what they think this other person is doing to trade, and they're trying to implement it as best as it seems logical to them. But what really happens when we just sit back and breathe and listen is we're able to see what's happening. We're able to understand it. When we know why the MACDs work the way they do, when we know why the EMAs are doing what they do, when we can understand why they're becoming weak, when we can understand why they're showing strength, all of that can really help us to place trades and make moves in a way that we may not walk home with 15, 30, 50 points in a day, but we're taking home little bits and pieces that are building our account, that are building our confidence, and that are building our ability to trust ourselves and to be able to become what it is that we want to become through this journey. So I think I'm going to wrap that up, guys. I hope that everybody has a wonderful Wednesday. I have my windows open because it is a whopping 87 degrees in Texas in July. And maybe it's selfish that I just didn't feel like editing my other video right now, but I really want to go sit outside and just enjoy this beautiful weather for just a little bit. and then it's back to nose to the grindstone. So, well, I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday, and even if it's step by step, even if it's just little bits here and there, just doing your best, you can get there. Okay. And I really, really do look forward to seeing all of you and rejoicing with you. I want to see this happen. I want to see you grow. And as always, I look forward to catching you on the profitable side.